So you're a musician who gigs somewhat regularly on the weekends for minimal to okay pay. What does it take to go from that to doing music full time and making a good living using your musical talents? Well, I've got the answer for you coming up. Hey, and welcome to Music Space, where we help working musicians just like you learn how to quickly and easily make a living with your craft. So if you're new here to the channel, hit that subscribe button and the notification bell. That way you'll be notified when new videos are uploaded. So there comes a time when you've been playing for a while and you've been doing the same gigs and the same types of gigs, and they're cool or whatever, but you start getting this feeling of wanting more. Like you want better quality gigs, more frequent gigs, and higher pay. And that happens to all of us at some point in this musical journey. But there comes a point on that journey where a lot of us musicians and artists stop believing that we can do music full time and make a living off what we do. You start to question whether or not it's even possible at this stage in your life or in your career. And you stop having this picture in your head of what it would actually even look like for you. So I'll get the obvious question out of the way. Is it possible for you in your position right now to do music full time and make a full living off of it? The answer is unequivocally, absolutely yes. I know you may think that you're too old or that you don't have enough talent or that your time is past, but it hasn't. In fact, it's much easier to go full time as a musician now than it has ever been at any point in history. I teach and coach and listen to musicians of all ages and all demographics who play music and perform music in all genres, who are doing it every day and who are thriving. But the question remains, how do you go from where you are right now to making enough money just from your musical talents to support yourself and your family and frankly buy all of that fancy music equipment you've been wanting? And what's the fastest way to do it? Well, the first thing you have to do is really simple, and that's start a business and sell something. As a musician or an artist, you have to be doing more than just gigging here and there to go full time doing music. You need to be selling something in terms of a service via your musical talent. That could be something like an online course or training camps that has to do with voice or whatever instrument you play, or teaching specific things that you have expertise on. Like, for example, do you have knowledge of how to get music on TV and in movies or on the radio? Or do you have knowledge and tips on the best ways to audition for like a lot of the shows like America's Got Talent or American Idol and things like that? Package that information and sell it. There are millions of people looking for that type of information on a daily basis, and they're willing to pay for it because it solves a problem for them. Now, another thing you need to do is get help. This is something you really have to do. I've said this many times before, but this is one of the biggest mistakes that a lot of musicians and artists make when trying to make money in a business sense. They don't seek out people who are more knowledgeable than them to help them, and as a result, they either fail or getting to any type of success takes a lot longer than it has to. So you really have to seek out that assistance to provide you the necessary help that you need in starting a business and going full time as a musician. Now that said, I want to take a moment to tell you about Musicians Inner Circle. Musicians Inner Circle is a place for musicians to learn and grow and go deeper into these subjects on growing and starting a business. We have courses on things like starting your business from scratch and social media training and frameworks to help you establish all aspects of your business. And there's a new training every month. And for a very limited time, it's at a very low, affordable price. So check out the link in the description and consider joining today. And another thing you got to start doing if you want to go full time is you got to start hustling. A lot of musicians and artists are frankly just really lazy these days. They just sit around and expect opportunities to magically appear at their doorstep. Have you heard the stories of a lot of the musicians and artists, from back in the day who did things like sleep outside of a record producer's house just so they could see them and be heard, or they're getting their car and drive across country, a 2 or 3 day drive because they heard some record producer was going to be at this club and they wanted the opportunity to get their stuff heard? That was hustling. Now, I'm not saying that it has to be at that level of hustle nowadays, but a lot of musicians and artists don't even want to do things like make a phone call or send an email. Look, you can go full time. It's really not that difficult, but it does require some hustle and some work. I mean, think about it. How many calls have you made or emails have you sent to inquire about gigs and opportunities in the past week or the past month? 1, maybe 2? So on average, you're only making a few phone calls and sending a few emails per year, and you want to be a full-time musician. Now, another thing you have to do, and this is something that I've said many times before as well, but you got to start creating your own opportunities. I'm still not sure why musicians and artists don't do this. There's so many opportunities out here for us artists and musicians to create that have little to no competition. I've said this before as well, but you could do something like create a get to know your neighbors party in your neighborhood for either your apartment complex or your homeowners association or whatever. You go to the powers that be and pitch this thing to them along with pitching you performing or your band performing. Negotiate your pay for it, collect tips while you're there playing, and make a lot of contacts while you're there as well. There's surely going to be somebody there that says, oh, hey, can I get your number? I'm having a birthday party coming up in 3 months or whatever the case may be. And that opportunity breeds more opportunities. But there's many things like this that you can do. But instead of doing things like this that could breed a lot more opportunities, musicians are really still just sitting around waiting for that, hey, are you free Friday night text for that gig that only pays $100. Now, another thing you need to do is focus on multiple streams of income. So it's likely that you're going to have income coming in from multiple areas or places to go full time as a musician. It's definitely not going to happen from getting more $100 gigs. Like, have you ever thought about it? You could literally play a $100 gig every night of the year, and after that year, you would have only made $36,500. Try living off that in somewhere like California with the current gas prices. But you're going to have income coming in from multiple areas of the business that you create around your musical talent. And that's usually set up like you have a primary method that brings in the majority of the income, and then you have these other sort of secondary areas that also bring in income. So for example, you could be a speaker who goes across the world speaking on musical things to different musical groups and things like that. And that could be your primary source of income. But then you also have supplemental income that are coming in from secondary places like online courses or piano lessons or something like that you do. So money will definitely need to be flowing in from different places. Now, if you want more information on things like multiple streams of income and starting a business around your music, check out these videos on your screen now.